I can just add to that, we obviously did a thorough medical examination. It actually happened some time ago, about 7 days ago. Jermaine submitted to scans and, various images that were taken, and, our medical team, led by Dr. Marks, gave it a full, green light. So we have no doubts that, with all the work and dedication that he's showing toward this rehabilitation prospect is obviously something that is, not a concern for us at all. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here today.
Jermaine, again, you talked earlier about a rebirth here, given what's gone on in Indianapolis for the last 4 or 5 years. Do you think that really put a dent in your reputation around the league, given what was going on around you in that organization?
I think if you do a check with the NBA, I've did more in the communities probably than most NBA players, and I don't go out and I don't get sponsorship. Nike has been great to me. They've did quite a few good things in the community with me, but I take my own money. People know the type of person I am. Obviously, I'm gonna take it that you're talking about the Detroit situation.
The other stuff around the Pacers that went on, Jamal Tinsley, Sean Williams, that kind of stuff.
Well, at the end of the day, I have a wife and 2 kids. We meet all the time. We do the necessary things as leaders of teams, and it's up to the player at the end of the day when they go home away from the gym to do the things necessary as a professional athlete, and that's his responsibility. And guys make decisions, right or wrong, and that was decisions that they made away from basketball. And you can't. As a player, you can't patrol players 24 hours a day. You can only hope and try to lead them a certain way, but at the end of the day, they're going to make their decisions. As far as, and as a leader of a team, you got to expect, criticism. And sometimes it's unfair criticism, but as far as my teammates doing the things they did, then, it was kind of mind-blowing a little bit, that, the situations kept happening. After we've been through a situation the year before or a month before, and it just happened. But I don't think people look at me as a bad person, because I'm a good guy who has a family, who does a lot, who believes in the community, and I do a lot of stuff in that manner. But if people do think that way, then that's their opinion. At the end of the day, you can't really change everybody's opinion about how they think about you. And I'm gonna continue to do the things that I'm used to doing and I like to do, and hopefully at the end of my career, they can say I was a heck of a player and a heck of a person.
Sam mentioned a 20 and 10 player. How important would those 2 statistics be to you? Those are the measuring point: 20 points and 10 rebounds a night. That's what it go on.
Well, I think numbers wouldn't really measure success, with a team like we have. Obviously, if me and Chris went out and averaged 20 points, 10 boards a game, and everybody else played well, that'd have been great, and that would be great. But I think sacrifices has to be made in a situation when you have so much talent and so many guys who can really put the basketball in the hole. I think my success is going to be measured off wins and losses, and on any given night, Chris is going to have it, Jose is going to have it, Bargnani may have it. So many different guys may have it, but we got to be able to find our niche that particular night. Everybody can't be on. Obviously, I want to do very, very well. I want to win, but I'm not going to gauge my success through numbers. Do I think I'm capable of doing that and the team being successful? Absolutely.
Jermaine, talk about the impact you think you might be able to have on a guy like Andre Bargnani, still a young player in this league, a lot of expectations on him.
Well, man, I just think he has a lot of talent. He's still very young. I'm gonna get the opportunity to work out with him out in Las Vegas, over at the academy. Just bringing a physical presence to him. I think if he can get that, get a little bit more toughness to him, he's gonna be dominant, because he's really a key factor to our team. He is a guy that can really change a whole dimension of the game by being 7 foot tall, being able to shoot the 3, put the ball on the floor. If we can get him to really bang a little bit more in the low post, he's going to be a tough cover.
What happened last year with Boston, the way they just came around after 1 year, is that kind of in the back of everyone's mind when you look at the season? Because they just turned it around so dramatically, and your team has made a dramatic turnaround in terms of personnel move. Do you see that too? Well,
I think personally for me, when I looked at this situation, and I looked at the entire year, I think the biggest thing that stuck out to me was the sacrifice that all three of the guys made, and also the role players made. And in this league, you got to have that. You can't think about yourself and you can't think about your numbers. Anytime you step onto that court and put that jersey on, you got to think about your teammates. And that's one thing that really stuck out to me. They made the ultimate sacrifice. When one guy wasn't going, another guy picked it up. But one thing that they didn't let down on any given night was the defense, and that's going to be the key to our team.
Do you see those ingredients here?
Absolutely. I think they have great character type of guys. They have a great team, obviously, as far as the physical ability. I think just adding me, definitely takes the bar up defensively a little bit more, because I like to take charges, I like to block shots, I like to alter shots. And I think that's one thing I will bring to the table that they didn't quite have last year.
What do you define as special? I mean, you've been to the NBA Finals, you've been on 60-win teams. Like, what's special in your eyes?
Well, I haven't quite made it to the NBA Finals yet. Hopefully, this is the year we get there. But special I think is a year where a team comes together. You create an atmosphere in your city and with the people that follows you in a manner where you get that feel where you're doing some great things. Pushing the needle to what you expect. Coming into training camp. You got to really sit down and make that evident of what you want to do and continue the game plan. And once the season starts, you can get that feel that you have something special. And I think that tone is going to be set from day one. From training camp onto the preseason onto the regular season. And it's hard to really explain to you guys. And if you play sports, you know what I'm talking about. What that special feeling is. And we knew in Indiana when we had the best record and we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals from day one when we sat down in the first meeting October 1st that this was our chance, and we knew what we had to do to get to that level, and we did it, and that's what we have to do. We're going to hold each other accountable, for all our actions on and off the court, and we're going to try to make a run for this thing.
You've been a franchise player since you arrived in Indiana. You've been the center of the franchise. Here, Chris occupies that same role. Whose team is this, in your view? Is this Chris's team? Is this both of your team?
Well, and I talked to Coach Mitchell and Mr. Colangelo about it. This is Chris' team. I'm here to help him lead this team. He's been a centerpiece, for quite some time, and he's a hell of a talent. I'm not into whose team this is. I'm not into that. I'm into success. I've been through some really rough times over the last 4 years, and to get this opportunity, it makes you just want to do whatever necessary for this team to be successful. And I know I'm gonna hear that question a million other times, but just to set the record straight, this is his team, and we're gonna do this thing together as a team.
When you've been an all-star, when you've been that level of player, and it all comes crashing down the way it did, not only with your body, but with the way the Indiana organization went from an elite team to just imploding all the way through, how does that change your approach? How does that change you?
Well, to tell you the truth, I mean, I'm not 50 years old. I'm gonna set that straight. I played on one leg for 2.5 years. And I just didn't want to tell anybody about the knee injury, and it just gradually got worse. And if you look at the numbers are what they are. I've been one of the most efficient power forwards in the game. Who's from 2000 2007. I'm not really concerned about the past anymore. I'm looking for. Today is the day I was going to close a chapter to my career in Indiana. Now this is a new life for me. I have full trust in myself that I'm gonna do the things necessary to get back to a level of being, one of the best, players in the league. And I can do that. And it may not necessarily equals up to numbers. I don't know what the numbers may be personally for myself, but to me, it's all about this team. And doing the things necessary to get this team to championship level. Now, how people view me doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter as long as at the end of my career they view me as a champion.
Watch that with a bit of a smile. He's the finesse guy, you're the physical grinder. Is that the way you see it too?
Yeah, absolutely. I like to bang. I like contact, and he's a guy that's really quick. More finesse type of guy, and that's what you need. You give a team different looks, and I think the most impressive part, when you talk about me and Bosh playing together, that one of us is going to be on the court at all times.